We will talk about the startup operation process in this lesson, mainly from the following two aspects. First, mobile phone startup process. Second, the block diagram of the boot process. How does mobile phone work? Let's take a look. The first step, when we connect the power cord with the DC power supply, or buckle the battery to the battery holder, the battery will output the main power supply through the charging chip, VPH, PWR. Xiaomi and Oppo generally use VPH, PWR to replace the main power supply. Vivo is also sometimes represented by VPH, PWR. Huawei's main power supply is represented by VBAT, SYS. Some mobile phones use SYS to refer to main power supply. Then the main power supply supplies a voltage to the power on signal on the power on line. Xiaomi and Huawei's are usually 1.8 volts. In Oppo mobile phones, the positive electrode of the battery can provide a voltage of about 4 volts to the power on signal line through a pull-up resistor of about 100 kilo-ohms or about 200 kilo-ohms. When there is voltage on the power on signal line, we press the power on button of the power on signal. The power on signal changes in voltage from 1.8 volts to 0 volts. This jump is detected by the main power supply. Who does power chip output power supply to? For CPU, temporary storage, hard disk, there are several main hardwares for booting. After they are powered, the power chip will turn on the buck boost chip. It is called BUCK-BOOST. This chip will convert the main power supply into an auxiliary power supply. This auxiliary power supply is VDD BUCK-BOOST on Huawei. Xiaomi will use VREG BOB to indicate. These two mobile phones will have this auxiliary power supply, which can be seen in the codename in the drawing. Next, the main power supply provides power supply to the crystal oscillator, and the crystal oscillator generates a frequency of 26 MHz or 38.4 MHz to the power chip. 26 MHz used in MTK platform. 38.4 MHz is commonly used by Qualcomm and some other platforms. Then the main power supply outputs the clock signal to the CPU. The main power supply sends the reset signal to the CPU. After the CPU is reset, it can start working. The CPU resets the file library. After complete, the CPU reads the self-test data in the hard disk and performs self-test on the CPU itself, temporary storage, and the GPU. If there is no problem after the self-test is completed, it will send the power supply maintenance signal to the main power supply chip, so that the main power supply chip can maintain a normal output of power supply. Then the CPU will turn on the display circuit and let the display circuit work. The CPU sends display data to the display screen, and the display screen will display the brand logo. The CPU reads the hard disk system program and loads Android system. Next, the CPU turns on the touch circuit, audio circuit, Wi-Fi circuit, and some other circuits to make them work. Finally, the CPU starts the radio frequency part, which is the signal part of the call. At this time, the baseband needs to read the SIM card information. The signal receiving channel starts to work, and the operator is selected according to SIM card information. The transmission channel starts to work, confirms the connection with the base station, and displays the signal strength of the mobile phone. The whole process of turning on the phone is now complete. Okay, that's it for this lesson.